which took place, I think it must have been Thursday, during the week. Things did not go according to the expectations of Mnangagwa, as well as his faction. There were attempts to reduce the Central Committee into a celebration party, the Central Committee meeting, but Chiwenga quickly everybody in the room when he told them that it is premature to celebrate the illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3, as the bill hasn't been signed into law. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlodipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. The retired General Chiwenga actually poured cold water during the ZANU-PF Central Committee when Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa's faction attempted to celebrate prematurely CAB.3. He told them that it's not yet a done deal because the bill hasn't even been signed into law. What is the meaning of this? In fact, let me read where I took this story from. It says Vice President Constantino Chiwenga stunned senior ZANU-PF officials during a Central Committee meeting when he cautioned them against celebrations following the passing of the controversial constitutional amendment bill number 3, CAB.3, by the National Assembly. The divisive amendments which seek to extend President Emerson Mnangagwa's term by 2 years and possibly extinguish Chiwenga's chances of becoming Zimbabwe's next president, are now awaiting the 83-year-old ruler's signature. Chiwenga told the Central Committee meeting last Thursday that CAB.3 was not yet signed into law. Several ZANU-PF leaders told this publication his remarks came as some party members sought to celebrate the bill's passage through Parliament and called for ZANU-PF to align its internal electoral calendar with the proposed constitutional changes. CAB.3 was passed by the National Assembly last Tuesday after securing the required 2/3 majority amid allegations that legislators were subjected to both inducement and intimidation to support the bill. Those allegations are now subject of court proceedings. Chiwenga has previously been viewed as taking a cautious stance on the bill, making a series of cryptic public remarks that have been interpreted as criticism of the proposed constitutional changes. According to a Central Committee member who spoke to this publication on anonymity, on condition of anonymity, the meeting took an unexpected turn when a male delegate urged the party to ensure its structures also benefited from the proposed constitutional amendment. The delegate reportedly argued that since CAB.3 will extend Mnangagwa's term of office to 2030, subject to the bill becoming law, ZANU-PF should postpone its own internal elections, currently due next year, until 2029. We feel as Central Committee members we are being left behind, the delegate said. Right now we are supposed to prepare for elections next year. We feel the party constitution should be aligned with CAB.3 so that we only have elections in 2029. The proposal reportedly triggered loud singing and celebrations inside the meeting, with delegates backing the suggestion. Rather than responding himself, Mnangagwa referred the matter to Chiwenga, who delivered a brief response that immediately changed the mood in the room. It is not yet signed into law. There is no need to celebrate, reportedly Chiwenga said. Let party members not celebrate until it is signed. According to the source, Chiwenga's remarks were met with deafening silence, bringing the celebration to an abrupt halt as delegates were left visibly surprised by his intervention. Legal experts have raised concerns about the constitutionality of the amendments, particularly regarding the extension of presidential terms and the alignment of electoral cycles. Constitutional law expert Love Momatuku has previously warned that such amendments, if passed without proper public consultation, would face legal challenges. Meanwhile, opposition is growing against CAB.3, with civil society or organizations and political parties coalescing to resist the moves to extend Mnangagwa's term and that of current parliament. War veterans, including former Zimbabwe People's Army fighters and the Platform for the Concerned Citizens, PCC, convened a meeting last week where they described the deepening national crisis of the CAB.3 deepening national crisis of which CAB.3 is merely a symptom. The forum endorsed the growing campaign against CAB.3 being mounted by the People's Coalition, which was announced on Friday. The meeting endorsed support for the ongoing campaign against CAB.3 being headed by the alliance under the People's Coalition, said PCC conveners Ton Rila and Ipo Mandaza in a brief. This campaign is now driven by the alliance of organization comprising the People's Coalition and described in the manifesto released yesterday, July 3, 2026. The meeting also endorsed the decision that the campaign against CAB.3 should be accompanied by a further campaign for a national dialogue leading to a national conference, a referendum on a national transitional authority, and the establishment of a national transitional authority. It was agreed that in the short term, there should be concentration on the resistance to CAB.3, both legally and politically, and in the long term, concentrate on the establishment of national dialogue. The People's Coalition is convened by Reverend Kupa Kwashe Mtata and brings together prominent political figures, including former Finance Minister Tendai Biti, Jameson Timber, Jacob Ngari and war veterans Ruben Zulu, who has already filed challenges against CAB.3. So the response of retired General Chiwenga during the ZANU-PF Central Committee, as we have heard on this reliable publication, was actually shocking to ZANU-PF Central Committee members. So a member asked also for the postponement of elections, and there was celebration regarding Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, only for retired General Chiwenga to actually throw a cold water to the ZANU-PF members of the Central Committee when he told them that you are celebrating too early. This thing you are celebrating has not been signed into law by Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa. And he said, just you have to reserve your celebration until it is signed into law. And we know that retired General Chiwenga has been opposed to the processes that led to this bill sailing through to Parliament. And it is not only him, the people of Zimbabwe are also opposed to this illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026 being pursued by Emmerson Mnangagwa. And never have we seen in the history of Zimbabwe civic society, opposition political parties speaking with one voice, except for Nelson Chamisa. I don't know why he's not coming into party, but it is his democratic right to do so. But the overwhelming majority of the members of opposition civic society, they are united in terms of opposing this illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026. And of course, I have spoken about opposition and civic society this time around embracing war veterans such as Ruben Zulu, indicating that war veterans like Ruben Zulu, we know that they are representing the deep state within the opposition political party members, of which we know that the state in Zimbabwe is not pleased. In fact, is not in support of Mnangagwa's term extension, and worse, the illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3. So that on its own, I have also indicated how it strategically put opposition political party members in the future to actually have their dreams realized of leading Zimbabwe, because you cannot lead Zimbabwe at its current state without the support of the war veterans. And we know when you have the support of the war veterans, as good as you have got the support of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, by the way, which is a very, very important and strategic ally of the government of Zimbabwe at the moment. It is the life support of Emmerson Mnangagwa's government. If Mnangagwa fails to please the military, of which already has failed, that is why you see war veterans, they are opposed to this CAB.3. Retired military generals, as well as also senior civil servants within the security cluster of Zimbabwe, they are opposed to this illegal constitution. So as I have indicated, you know, when you hear even Chiwenga speaking about this CAB.3, the story of King, King was there. He cried for more time to be given to him, and more time was indeed given to him, but it was consequential. And also, if you look at the story of Lazarus, Lazarus died and he had to be risen after dying. So all these stories, they give an impression that that as much as CAB.3 seems to have sailed through the National Assembly, but it's not yet over. Even after signing Emmerson Mnangagwa, it doesn't mean that opposition to this bill, as well as also to his leadership of Zimbabwe, would automatically stop. This battle will continue. The mere fact that Mnangagwa has actually sponsored this project, it is a problem for the nation of Zimbabwe, because already is facing overwhelming resentment because of this illegal process. And don't ever think that things will go well for him. Don't ever think, I don't foresee, as I had predicted earlier, some time ago, that I don't foresee Emmerson Mnangagwa finishing his term. I'm saying up to 2028. I don't foresee him also getting away with this constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026. Of course, institutions in Zimbabwe may have rubber-stamped it, but remember, I've kept on saying that it is not the National Assembly that determines the issues of succession. If they do so, and successfully so, then it would be the very first time they have done that. But the question is, how long will that last before it is reversed by the institution that matters the most in the politics of Zimbabwe? Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please don't forget to subscribe. You can also financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Is off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast.